Hello, humans. I'm about dark-skinned women.
Oh, you mean they're not running around with their lions?
Showcase color.
If we come together, we do more.
It inspired me to have my family present.
Maybe I have a problem, I'm really...
The rooftop is my shrine.
It doesn't really exist, but it looks so real.
Hello, Nairobi.
Advocacy Design Week.
Sunny Barcelona.
Nairobi Design Week 2021.
Why are you wearing a lot of gloss?
Hello, humans.
Hello, humans, and thank you for joining us for Nairobi Design Week 2021.
Last year, NDW was cut short by the pandemic.
And this year, due to the global and local situation, everything is taking place online.
We are bringing you an online showcase of some of the brightest talent in the community.
Featuring community projects, videos, and messages from design weeks around the world.
So I'm about Black women, dark-skinned women, and portraying them in the best light possible.
But I was able to build this thing which can move around and detect objects in a weekend.
Hello, here's Ingrid from Eindhoven, Dutch Design Week, and wishing a well and a beautiful, happy together Nairobi Design Week for all of you. Enjoy!
So check out Nairobi Design Week. In this, together.
Monster stylish, monster stylish, monster stylish. Yeah, one for your body, girl. Bust down your neck, then tell me if you give it to me. Yeah, me I got ID, but so stylish. Make you wanna give it to me.
This year is all about the creatives, and the theme is together.
And over 30 of the creatives came together in front of the camera to share their stories with you.
They share with you how they learn, play, build, eat, design, repeat together.
But I think it's cheesy when people say things together all the time.
Oh, okay.
I think once is enough.
I'm like a hammer when I hop on a beat and I MC came from the jet coming for a jet that boy fly.
The soundtrack to this year's festival is Nairobi Yetu, produced by Blocka Beats.
It has 12 songs and features some of the best Nairobi talent.
Born in 9 to 5. They say you either put that work or do that 9 to 5. I just wanna be alive. I just wanna live my life. Roll the dice, what you make it yours. I gotta take the switch to open doors.
Yours, no matter the cost. No boss, I'm a floss. Yes, of course. Falsehood to the dollar. Cash rules everything around us.
I think Nairobi Yetu is very versatile. It gives you. You might be into trap music, cool, there's a trap song there. You might be into conscious music, there's conscious music there. You might be into, music where you can dance and really just have a good time. There's also music there. So it's an album where it goes around all different genres and all different people's, tastes in music. So I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2 songs you're gonna mess with.
Born in 9 to 5. They say you either put that work or do that 9 to 5. I just wanna be alive. I just wanna live my life. Roll the dice, what you make it yours. Yeah, you gotta take them risks to open doors, 'cause no one law can ever watch.
Now that the festival is happening, we'll have more time to focus on the Africa Design podcast.
To have more creatives from the continent have their voices heard.
and to let you guys hear the people that you want to be inspired by.
There will be more episodes launching regularly in April.
And look out for the mentors who'll be featuring in our upcoming live streams.
Stay stylish, man, stay stylish. Yeah, one for your body, girl. Bust down your neck, then tell me if you give it to me. Yeah, me I got ID, but so stylish.
Check out the highlights from our conversation with Batsirai Madzonga.
He's the creator of the Sankofa design system and typeface, which you see all across this festival.
How do we appropriate culture in a way that's bespoke to our users, like talking about that user-centered design approach? And how do we represent certain things, like, for example, a home icon? The way a home icon is represented online right now is typically just a house, right? Western design, a house with an angled roof, that's a home icon. But when you look at houses in Morocco, or houses in South Africa, or houses even in the Middle East itself, the architecture doesn't lend itself to align with that kind of home icon. So I was just thinking to myself one day, like, how, if you were to use design systems, which I was doing at the time, how would you use design systems to create, to reappropriate your digital products from a cultural perspective? And that's kind of where Sankofa came. Because I'm African, I grew up in Africa, lived most of my life in Africa. It seemed like a logical starting point to kind of experiment with that notion.
I jumped on the opportunity to try it out, and
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and we really felt like it felt right at the time to use it, and we're going to be using it as the theme font for Nairobi Design Week 2021 for the words together.
Search for Africa Design on your favorite podcast app.
That's Africa with a K. And if you like what you saw,
you know what to do.
Like,
subscribe,
comment,
share.
Plants. Hiyo ndio maisha. Kujipanga. And in the long run, nikuwe successful. That's why I came to the city.
So I decided to bring my notebook here, and I carry my notebook with me everywhere. I am always writing ideas that come across my mind if I see something interesting, because the funny thing is, as much as I'm an illustrator, I won't initially just draw something. I also enjoy reading a lot. So I feel like the first thing that I would do is write what I've seen, what I want to talk about, and go and think about it a little bit more. So the notebook is a big part of my life.
This virtual reality headset comes in handy to deal with lifestyle, entertainment, education, and virtual tours. So let me start by education. If I give you a brief background, there are kids in like the remote parts of Kenya. Most of them, they hear of Nairobi and they think like there's a big city with concrete walls, but they can't have like a really good imagination of how Nairobi really looks like. So with the box like this, we can develop content in virtual reality and we take it to them so that they don't have the urge to come to the city, because like we can bring the city to them through virtual reality experience.
So whenever we meet creatives, we always want to understand their process.
What actually happens behind the scenes?
I am inspired by love, life, and motion.
I love music a lot, and when you look at my Instagram, you will find that there's so much stuff, people dancing. So I have a very close connection with music.
Into your family home, go back into reflection and just being there for yourself. So that inspired me to have my family present for the video, to go back to my grandma's place and have the video shot there. Yeah, which was really cool, and yeah, it was really fun to have them on set. What if they understood? What if they understood what it meant to take action? To take action based off of the processes that we use to process the world, to be in the world. To take action through conjunction, through the alignment of needing to, I don't know. Keep going, keep going. Follow your stream of consciousness. Pennywise got me sinking again. Maybe I have a problem. I'm really out here still hoping we'd be tired of the same old faces. Or maybe we keep trying to solve all the ways that we're collectively failing as a human race, so we could get to a place where supporting the truth and those who dare to be brave trumps ignoring the fact elites play fast without pain, with everything to gain from silencing the ones who break and stand aside from the grain. Can you imagine what it takes to get in the frame of mind to rise above for something that's bigger than yourself, because it speaks to souls beneath the bodies we show and tell? Or wouldn't it be great if we stopped and analyzed what we ate, how we sustain what we crave, who we watch die in our name, who we so fall for the fame, who we lost to the game, who really cared to prompt change, who we lost, yeah. Pennywise got me sinking deep, and I can't pull away from the days that consume my days and rule my way. I really wish we could go outside, 'cause I can't deal with this feeling.
I can say the pandemic has been the biggest thing to me. It has flown my way. I've had an opportunity to work with Google, I've had an opportunity to work with Facebook, and I've had an opportunity to work with YouTube for a YouTube original film.
And this year, I think with COVID, it gave us really that extra freedom, that extra time to, you know, put in the work and actually do this seriously and start recording. And the process is really organic. It's just, you know, the homies, they come through, we listen to a beat, we add different sounds, different melodies, different samples, and from there we just enter now a creative writing stage and produce magic.
We find most of our work is digital. Our operations are also online, because especially with the corona times, it's very hard for us to meet in person.
So isolation has taught me to love myself more, because during the time where we were all allowed to mingle with each other, I never took time to understand myself much better. But after the isolation, I came to understand who I am and what I can bring to the world now.
Check out this collaboration we've started with a couple of super talented Kenyan designers.
It's called Afrochibi.
And it's all about education,
Sustainability,
toys, and creativity and expressing yourself.
Play, play, play.
I thought it was going to be like something straightforward, because I was used to being given jobs that are like, you know what you're going to do from the start. I didn't think it was going to be like a process. And then it ended up being a fun process, like learning new things, learning from the concept art to the part where you decide to model, where you create concepts through models, where you create new ideas, you think up new things. And it was a fun process, making something from scratch. The thing that I can say was hard for me was like trying to make something that will fit what other people are expecting in the team.
We looked at like examples first, just to get some feeling of like where do we all pull our inspiration from. And I think I was going through like a lot of like Instagram or reference images of different designers and just like, what is character design, right? Asking that question.
Looking at instruments, looking at different kinds of African curios and African effects. And like, it was very tough actually, like trying to bring out something that will look African in a character. So what we did was make some different drum heads, draw things with a guitar head, have a body that looks like a sloth, have a body that looks like a gorilla. And actually, when we were trying to make the different things, we ended up like, at a point we were straying from the Afrochibi thing. Geoffrey came up with an idea where we were going to make like a sketch. Okay, he was going to make a sketch of an animal, but with the instrument body. When I modeled it, it didn't look as African, but then he introduced the horns. And that's where we started making different kinds of concepts from the models. And let's say the influence of the concepts so far comes from very different places, and it's like an inspiration of the different references we've been looking at up until now. Geoffrey just came up with something that is fluid, something that like just goes with anything. Right now, like it's very customizable. It's very simple. The part that I can say that still needs some work is the arms. But the body is very customizable and very fluid. It can be an animal, it can be a person, it can be a creature, something in imagination. I learned a lot from Felix, a lot.
BV, yeah, handle mine. If you think you gon' mess with me, you better get your ass right back in line. Been on my grind, been on the hustle. Everybody know it's my time. God is the greatest, like show me the lie. He got my back like every time. Been through the good, been through the bad. I keep it real, man, this ain't a facade. Come to the hood, I'll show you what's good. Ain't no reason to be acting a fool, cuz I'll be thinking how life used to be.
I started my relationship with Nairobi Design Week last year when I was nominated to attend the urban residency program at Kenya Lighting Industries. That's where I met the first bollard light in collaboration with NDW and KLI.
Hi Faria. Hi Grishan, how are you?
Oh, hi sir, how are you doing?
Good, Kashyap, how are you?
All well.
Good. Well, congrats. We'd really like you to participate in the urban residence.
OG, yeah, I'm on my shine. BV, yeah, handle mine. If you think you gon' mess with me, you better get your ass right back in line. Been on my grind, been on the hustle. Everybody know it's my time. God is the greatest, like show me the lie. He got my back like every time. Been through the good, been through the bad. I keep it real, man, this ain't a facade. Come to the hood, I'll show you what's good. Ain't no reason to be acting a fool, cuz I'll be thinking how life used to be.
Laser cutting, CNC punching, powder coating, it's really been amazing.
The idealization of any concept.
That was the best part.
In a nutshell, very, very good.
And that relationship has grown. I have again partnered with Nairobi Design Week to design the outdoor grill and the outdoor camp chair for a site called Oloiden Campsite in Naivasha. And that product has hit the market already. They have ordered 20 pieces. We are looking to get a larger order and hopefully expand this into reaching the Kenyan market as a local product.
Yeah. Bonga your story, man. Yeah. Get yours, yeah, no matter the cost. Top boss, I'm a floss out, yeah.
So how did we go about this? We came up with a huge list of questions we wanted to ask the creatives.
And then we prioritized who gets which questions.
And the results were amazing.
Yeah, we found out so many new things about them, so many stories, some people we've known for years, and we still learned things about them. So thank you, everyone.
We hope you enjoy all these amazing stories they're going to be sharing today.
Style inamaanisha vitu mob to many people.
kwa wengine ni nguo, kwa wengine ni vile unabonga, kuna wale wanaitumia ku make statement, kwa wengine ni vile unatembea, vile una relax at the end of a long day, vile tu unajibeba. Na hii area yetu, style ni all of the above. Tunaitaga style, style, fashion, luku. Majina ni mob, but form ni ile ile. Tunavaa vile si uvaa juu tunataka kufanana. Inatufanya tusikie tuko pamoja. Oh, what a feeling to have you close to me. Oh, what a feeling to have you close to me. Oh, what a feeling to have you close to me. Oh, what a feeling to have you close to me. Nakwaza usiku.
Here are some of the amazing projects creatives have been working on.
Check them out
at eatdesignrepeat.com.
They literally just told me, neighborhood, you do what you want.
Nakuota mchana. Kila mahali naenda.
So me, I was like, okay, the first thing that came to my mind were Coca-Cola kiosks. Every time I've moved around a lot in Kenya, and everywhere I go, you'll always see a Coca-Cola kiosk. So I chose that as like the focal point in a sense, just to give you like a setting of the neighborhood, and then now creating a world around that feels very Kenyan, Nairobi-ish.
I wouldn't want to say they're normal, but my name, Bida, I'm a Kamba, so I'm little drawn into color. I want to showcase color. I want them to be as bold as they can. They represent me.
When it comes to color, I think it changes with my mood or how I'm feeling at that specific time or what I'm trying to convey. I do a lot of my work in terms of series. So because I also draw a lot from African designers, they use a lot of bright colors as well. That's something that I will talk about and through my work, through the illustrations. But I change the color palettes depending on the mood I want to portray. If I want to talk about something that I'd like it to feel nostalgic in a way, I'll use earthy tones, warmer colors, something that feels like a vintage photo.
It mostly has to do with Black people around the world, because for a very long time I felt like we were being portrayed in one way. And for somebody like me, although I've grown up in Kenya all my life, I've been influenced by the Western culture, but still influenced by my own culture. So I wanted to display that. I wanted people like who are not from Kenya or who are not from Africa to be like, oh, you mean they're not running around with their lions and like, you know, I don't know, just the negative portrayals we have outside. So I wanted us to look cool. I wanted us to be fresh and all that. Even before, like a long time ago in magazines, you wouldn't even find the dark-skinned woman as the lead when it came to movies, when it came to magazines, and basically just showing that she can live her best life and she deserves all the good things in life.
So I have, I think, two different types of clients. There are those who want a custom-made illustration from my illustration. Let's say they're shopping from my Instagram. So they've seen one illustration, but they would just want a change of color. So we do that. And there are those who want, let's say I mostly draw women. So there's one woman who has bold colors, very bold, and there's one who's minimal. So they want both of them in one illustration. So I do that. And then the other one will be just shopping what they see.
Extremely influenced by pop culture. I think it's just because I've grown up watching TV and growing up in the digital age, the information age. We are exposed to a lot of pop culture. And I'd be lying if I said I've experienced a complete Kenyan experience without any influence from the outside. So
I think being around different cultures has really changed my perspective on things, because I grew up around the Western culture a lot when I went abroad, and then coming back to Kenya, it has taught me to have an appreciation for things that I wouldn't necessarily see. So combining the two worlds together has definitely influenced my style and the way I choose to draw and portray women, because I feel like we are our experiences, you know. The modern parts of me are just as important as the traditional parts of me as well. So I merge all of those colors, all of those cultures within my work, and something is born out of it, something new.
It's a drawing of Majimbo from an editorial that she did for Teen Vogue. When I saw it, it was just very much my style in every way, shape, or form. A lot of patterns, a lot of contrast, a lot of celebrating dark-skinned women. So me, I was like, I really needed to do that. And of course, because since Elsa has been able to make it not being afraid or like letting other people's opinions cloud what she's doing. She's like, yo, me, I'm out here with Beyonce and Rihanna, and you guys are here saying at you, oh, I'm not funny. So I wanted to just like even show her as well that I celebrate her in what she's doing, because it also motivates me as well. Like,
yes, it is. It is hard. I haven't yet settled on what type of paper I want to print on, what type of printers I'd want to use, because mostly I'd go to River Road, and it's not the best, but we try to find the best person who can do it. So I'm hoping that we'll find those people who can really, really bring out your art prints as they are.
Yeah, I still draw on my phone to this day, but not as much as I used to.
I'm not a professional boxer, it's just a hobby. I'm into all elements of it, the speed and skill. There's something quite magical about boxing.
Eat,
design,
repeat.
Together.
When it comes to my work, I usually search for the feeling, because I normally want to tell a story.
I'm just finding ways through, the art of photography and film to tell my story as an artist and to tell stories of the people around me.
I am passionate about humanitarian work, work that has impact, work that has purpose. And I think recently I want to go more into impactful projects. That's why I started my own work. I started a mini docu-series called In My Skin on my YouTube channel. It's whereby I interview young people across the fields, and just have them tell about their experiences in their fields and what they stand for, what they're passionate about, and the challenges they face. My aim is to probably catch somebody at home who's just starting out, who's afraid, or somebody who's looking at the internet, looking at Instagram, and seeing everyone has all their stuff figured out. Someone is a photographer, someone is, and sometimes we are all confused and we don't know where to start. So starting that project was my way of telling those, my young fellows in the community to, no one has it all figured out. You just have to start. That's the main point.
I did a project called Real People, Real Stories. Real People, Real Stories was a story by Facebook, which was meant to showcase or tell the story of how people are surviving through the pandemic stuff. So I had an experience to walk all over Kenya. I went to all the 47 counties telling the story. It was nice. When it comes to the Google stuff, I also had an opportunity to go to 32 countries of Africa, despite the fact there was a lockdown. So I experienced new stuff, experienced new people. By the fact I was doing cinematography, editing, lighting, directing and stuff. I just had fun and had an opportunity to learn very many languages.
I was working with a charity from the UK. They're called the Bright Start charity. They're working with communities down in Ukambani, Kenya, trying to lift their standards of living, contribute to the schools, build classrooms around the schools, give clothes to people, to the kids, books and all that. So in 2019, for a full straight week, I was in Ukambani documenting the process of what they do down there. And it was one of the most life-changing experiences for me, because I remember, just those 5 days, no electricity, you're living in the only stone house in the middle of a semi-arid area. And the one thing I remember taking from that is how the people and the community lived. They had so much love for everyone and for each other, and you could see these are people who don't have much. Like, you would go to school, you hear about a kid who hasn't been able to afford lunch, or like the only meal they have is lunch at school, but when they go home, they have nothing. So through that experience, I remember on the last day, this is why I brought it up, on the last day of just working down there and my part filming and documenting the process, we went to a school, a school in Kithimani, and we had an assembly. Like, all the kids came out to meet us. They were seated on the ground. It's a very dusty place. They were seated on the ground, and halfway through the little ceremony we were having as we were giving back to the school and all that, there was a huge sandstorm that the kids had to be sent home. They were like, we can't go on. It went on for about 30 minutes. The teachers were like, we can go on with their school day normally. So the kids were sent home, but instead of going home, they just played around in the sandstorm. And I got to capture some of the best images I ever have. I still, to this day, I can live them up or down, whatever. But those are the most interesting images I've ever gotten to capture. And through that, it just got me to a place where I appreciated my art, and I want to, use it to tell stories and touch people, and just, give a light to every story somebody has to tell.
Beautiful. Ningependa hii supi kuja baadaye. Wibo means without borders. Wibo culture is a collective of different skill sets that pull together in order to be able to afford to produce good products. And I believe living and working together is part of our culture before capitalism, the Ubuntu type of spirit. If you are able to work with other people who are critical, they help you become better.
Na sasa burudika na whisky, inshallah kesho tuamke video.
One of those projects under Wibo culture is Megatronics. Megatronics is a dynamic sound direction of Benga music. So it's a mix of Benga and electronics.
Mambo ya Kenya uliza wananchi watakwambia. Mambo yetu dezo yeno ni lukumba.
Music is just therapeutic. It brings people together. It's vibe.
My name is Damaris Nyauno. I'm from the slum of Matsonga. I'm a photographer and videographer. So I use my skills in photography to tell positive stories around the slum. Basically, human rights is like the right for expression one has to have. I wanted to raise awareness about justice in our community, whereby people are educated about their law and know more about the justice, their human rights, how to defend themselves whenever they encounter maybe the police harassing them, they know how they can defend and stand up for themselves.
Jada Marshley is an Afro-Bohemian brand that deals with most expression of individuality through jewellery that we've already started producing. So far, we have 5 curated products that we're selling.
My name is Dennis Poriot. I like to make stuff, modern day craftsman, industrial designer if you call it, probably.
And our operations are mostly online, which means for you to get your earring, you'd have to make an order, give us time to produce, and then you'd get it delivered to you once it's finished.
An example is with the Matatu toys and collectibles. So my intention for that was to, first of all, show people or other creatives what 3D printing can do. And with that, stimulate them to also create their own toys and products.
Our brand is mostly African, so it's run by Africans, and even the materials we get are sourced from locally.
The Matatu toys are a celebration of the unique urban culture that is in Kenya, and working with different artists to share the story.
We use brass cowrie shells and beads for our brands, for our products. So another thing that Jada Marshley is trying to do, we want to promote employment within in Nairobi. And what we've done, we have our products made in Kibera. So we source for the materials and then we take it to the artisans in Kibera, who are then able to produce the products for us, and then we sell them to people.
Can't be out here working every day without some. Just love and affection. Hey, I need you. Exhale, might take a second.
This is our first online festival.
And despite the impact of the pandemic, we're grateful that we're able to stay together.
Let's get together and feel alright.
Feel like you should. For real, you put in work. Be proud, baby. So what part do you play? Follow, don't delay.
Moi tutupa nimejam tu sana with the system inatupa shida bila msingi shida tuko wingi our leaders all messed up as the streets here had to pingi makara kutweka pingu tuantaka kakiru babo we no kushuti evolve na bado yuko huru mazejo hizi ndo vitu zinatujamisha sana tunachunga sira yetu neza kuja na ubaya check it's a time to rise. It's a time to shine and everybody gotta wake up and join us in this fight. Cause if we keep acting dumb, then gon' be gotta take a stand one time or we gon' face this plight.
Yes, your eyes are like windows, there's a party going on inside. Your mouth's a roller coaster, baby, I wanna take
Paint the Court is Nairobi Design Week's first case study to showcase how design can bring together communities, with a focus on resource and sustainability, impact and heritage, and interaction and relevance, issues faced by events and festivals across the world. Design thinking workshops were held with skaters and with storytellers. An exhibition invited temporary exhibitors as well as permanent exhibitors, those who created something that would leave a legacy at the venue long after the project is complete. The Urban Residency was an open call with Kenya Lighting Industries, which invited designers to create basketball hoops, seats, and lighting. The basketball court was restored and resurfaced, and an access ramp was added to it. As well as exhibiting, artists were invited to lead the way in mural painting, and participants in the printmaking workshops got to keep a t-shirt that they made. As well as skateboarders and roller skaters, Beyond Hoops Africa brought in ballers to test run the new court and planned an exhibition event which invited local teams to play each other. Participating musicians took part in a jam session at the beginning of the week, then a studio session, a production session, choreography, and scheduled performances to finish the week. A movie night was organized for local filmmakers from the community. And finally, everyone participated in the creation of a music video called Labeled Human, which has just been released. All this was brought together by community partners, experts, curators, and of course the public. You can see the music video and download the entire toolkit at nairobidesignweek.com. Thank you. Stay safe.
Yeah. Label human. Yeah. At the end of the day, we'll just label human. Learn from our mistakes, capable of change. At the end of the day, we'll just label human. Learn from our mistakes.
We are a community of young guys, especially university students, focused on doing different activities that promote our mental well-being and our personal development, especially through volunteering and team building games. We did a tree planting activity just recently, and I think this was one of the most engaging activities that we've done together because we got the opportunity to know each other even better. Because getting to work with other people, especially firsthand in work that requires so much effort, you get to know so much more. And this is especially why we aim to do more activities like this. Because for young people, we spend most of our time on our phones, we spend so much time on social media, and we forget the interpersonal relationships that we should be building.
I am a woman. It depicts the life of a woman who has for the longest time been labeled. It just holds a whole different perspective of a woman and gives them power and gives them the ability to speak for themselves.
I am the wind that blows.
the water that flows. I am the painter, the product of the perfect strokes from the master's brush. I am the masterpiece.
It's been basically the best project I've ever done, of course with the help of different creatives, from Mojo Productions to Antonate to different people.
Balance. Can't be out here working every day without some. Just love and affection. Hey, I need you. Might take a second to feel like it should. For real, you put in work, be proud, baby. So what part do you play? Follow, don't delay or leave. Maybe I care, but please journey with me.
The most inspiring project I look forward to is working with contemporary dancers like Kolo and his group, because no one has ever told their story or seen how they work around that. So that's a project I'm looking forward to, and I'll ensure by the end of the year I'm done with it.
So we went about making our own VR headset for the East African market, and we wanted it to be authentic and artistic. So we got these metal plates beaten in aluminium, and these are made in Malindi, and the artwork is supposed to represent a Maasai warrior or African tribesman, and eventually we're able to get a lot of these artworks printed onto our virtual reality boxes, and they work in both VR and AR. I'm going to hit the goggle button, and then once I hit the goggle button, then it splits the screen, and then once it split the screen, I can put it straight inside the box. All right? Yeah, so now I'm having a virtual experience, right? So I'm looking at, there's a presenter, and she's explaining about a new TV show that she's starting. And then I can see around here, there's a city in the background, and then the environment she's in, it's like a box which has neon colors, and the floor, it has like water, and she's standing on a platform above the water.
He posted on his Twitter that he would like to collaborate with an animator, and I commented on the post. He saw it, and then he contacted me. So I went to his office, he played me the song. I loved the song. It spoke to me like on a very personal level. So I was excited to jump on the project. We agreed on timelines, money of course, and it was on. So he told me that my birthday is in a month's time, so I would want this song to come out in a month's time. So I had a month to do like several months amount of work, but I decided to take the challenge, and I'm proud of the way it came out.
And then the musician starts, right? So there's a microphone here, and then the musician is like rapping to us in front of the microphone. And then it's really cool because it's like a virtual stage. So he's performing to me, and I can tell he's on stage. It's like I'm watching a concert, but the stage is like a virtual, it doesn't really exist, but it looks so real. And then there are lights, stage lighting, and then behind him I can see like a music video playing. So it's like I'm in a concert in my headset. And then there are people down here, like crowd audience, and it looks like a maybe computer generated crowd audience down here. Yeah, it's quite colorful, and we're able to bring through like, he's standing on fire right now. He's standing on a fire platform. There's like cool lights behind him, beaming down spotlights. Yeah, so this is quite a virtual video. Yeah, and then I press this button, and then I can press pause.
When I hear about togetherness, what comes to my mind is connectivity. How to connect different aspects of art, because art is all about feel, and everybody has a special feel of something, of how they do it and how they express it.
What comes to mind is Nasi. So Nasi is a Swahili word which means us, and also when I break it down, it means never assume something inside. So togetherness to me, togetherness to me symbolizes unity, networking, and new discovery.
Many thanks to the entire team for putting this thing together.
Yeah, thank you all guys, you've done an amazing job.
And to Tracy Maura, who's been our community assistant for the last 6 months.
Yeah, Tracy's starting a new role at the Metis Collective, who do amazing work as well. So we wish her the best of luck. And thank you, Tracy, for all your incredible narrations for the videos that have been launching in the last 6 months.
I'm sure you've all heard Tracy's voice. Check out our videos and listen to her voice.
Yeah, we think she's got a bit of a side hustle going, potentially, in the narration.
Nobel Peace Prize laureate and environmental activist Wangari Maathai wisely said, "There comes a time when humanity is called to shift to a new level of consciousness. That time is now." DoingZero is a collaboration between 2 inner-city neighborhoods, Kawangware in Western Nairobi, Kenya, and Harpurhey in Manchester, England. Devised by Design Manchester and developed with Nairobi Design Week about what we as individuals can do to help save our planet. We're looking at how the climate emergency is affected by what we grow and what we eat. Food that's good for the planet, good for my local community, and good for me. With DoingZero, we want to anchor that awareness about our own agency in the battle to protect the planet. We want to increase our personal investment in the climate emergency. Are you an expert in art, architecture, landscape and interior design, psychology, climate science, nutrition, digital communication, or events and exhibition organizing? We're inviting you to take part in the project and help us develop resources for the local groups. We'll use artworks and notices in public spaces as well as TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, and SMS. Combined with the Green Library's public arts and social media, we may attract a younger audience to be actively and widely involved. Interested in taking part? Email us at sasa@nairobidesignweek.com or visit www.doingzero.com for more information. Help us save our planet.
Hello Nairobi, this is Manchester calling to wish you every success with your Design Week starting today. We are so excited to work with you on DoingZero, our joint project with the communities in Kawangware and Harpurhey, North Manchester, joining together to protect our planet by looking at the impact on climate change of what we grow and what we eat. I look forward to joining you for some of your events this week and to developing our partnership over the coming months and years.
Systemic racism taught through patience. You couldn't fathom the ailments. Multiple years of your mind distilled by false radiance. The church played witness, always asking for assistance, but always lacking further vision. How could you worship false deities?
Nitakujenga ambako kuweka mimi.
kazi lazima ianze immediately.
Yes, sir. Nilisema hakuna kuwasiliana na familia. Funga mdomo.
Thank you, Free Mind Sessions. We're looking forward to your upcoming live stream this Thursday.
And it's all about collective creative consciousness.
Collective creative consciousness is something that I think came about more prominently once COVID hit. Artists were able to make their voices heard louder in different ways.
Consciousness for me has also been at the back burner of my mind because there are things that we ingest and then suddenly it's like a light bulb and you're like, wow, okay, that's what I was thinking and now I think I know how to execute this. I know what I can do and I know who I can approach. And this is where collaborations become such an amazing thing with creatives.
And so the paths and ways in which I think artists have been creating have sort of come to the surface, and now it's a more integrated system where we're thinking in, so our creativity has exploded and imploded in some people.
With Free Minds, we want to also be more meticulous about education towards just also young minds that are coming out towards this world, this really crazy world. And I really want to understand them because I wish somebody came to me and asked me what I want to do for work or what do I want to do for my career.
Almost pushing artists to collaborate with people that they never would have thought of collaborating with.
Hi from sunny Barcelona to all our colleagues in Nairobi. This is Isabel from Barcelona Design Week and from the president of the World Design Weeks. And as you know, we have our office in Barcelona. We hope that someday soon we will meet you all in Barcelona. But in the meanwhile, we wish you a lot of success for your Nairobi Design Week. Best wishes and all the best in all your creative activities and the celebration of African design. Good luck, see you soon, bye.
Hello Nairobi, I'm Emilio Cabrero, Vice President of World Design Weeks and Director of Design Week Mexico. The impact of COVID on the cultural design sector across the world has been enormous. Cities and our communities are facing unprecedented challenges. Culture is at risk. We are working with our members to collaborate and share responses. Together, we must support the creative sector. Sharing data and knowledge is crucial to the recovery and renewal of all our festivals, so we can enhance the purpose of our different organizations and keep on promoting sustainable opportunities for the public benefit. Good luck on your festival and all the best wishes from Mexico City.
If design is applied intelligently, sensitively and responsibly, it has great power to change our lives for the better. I'm Alice Rawsthorne and I write about design from London. Waste is a design problem, but it's also a societal problem. Businesses already recognise that they've got to eliminate waste, and so do politicians. It's going to be incredibly difficult to fix this problem because it's so systemic, it's so complex and it's so long term. But if you believe in design's power to tackle the complex challenges of our time, we need the best possible designers. And we're not going to get them unless they represent every area of society, every gender, every age, every heritage, every geography and every demographic. Join the No Waste Challenge. It's a fantastic opportunity for ambitious and resourceful designers to develop ingenious solutions to one of the biggest problems of our time.
So I am actually a fashion designer an illustrator. I really, initially in my initial stages of venturing into fashion design, I really was curious about making clothes. How can I make clothes? And I think it was interesting, the evolvement of how I wanted to create clothes, and then now have just moved into just more of like sketching and figuring out textures and patterns and stuff like that, because I think I enjoy just the idea of ideation. And the creation process is sometimes beautiful but also tough, because when something doesn't come out the way you want it, it can be really, hard. It can be heartbreaking sometimes.
All the time I am limited to find materials that I need to use here, because we don't really have a textile design company or an industry in textile design here in Kenya. It's dead. So most of our fabrics are actually imported from China. They're pretty expensive. Some are low quality. The good quality ones are expensive.
Over the last couple of years, I haven't really practiced fashion design, but I've moved more into fashion illustration and fabric design, which is something I'm researching more towards figuring out if we can be able to create a fabric for Nairobi or Kenya, So that's pretty much what I've been wanting to specialize and been for a while. I think I have this guilty concern about what fashion design does to the environment, and like how that sometimes, our footprint as designers sometimes is embedded in this earth.
So I have done one project in sustainable fashion where all the fabrics I used were vegan, and it was a campaign for animal cruelty in the fashion industry. So I created a whole collection where I used prints that I made myself from inspiration from animals that are usually tortured or killed, so that we can obtain the fabrics that we use in the fashion industry, and what they actually do behind closed doors that people really don't know about. Yeah, I designed a whole collection on that.
Let me tell you about ACT, Africa Collect Textiles. Our clothes travel from faraway places and sometimes have multiple owners. Kenya imports more than 100 million kilograms of used and new clothes annually.
So if we can all team up together, try revive the textile industry here in Kenya, try, I don't know, with the government and everything, it's a bit hard, but I feel like together, if we have a strong support system with fashion designers and textile designers here in Kenya, we can actually raise awareness and maybe bring it back.
I have a fashion brand called Afropoa. So we've been making Afropoa a virtual shopping experience. So this virtual shopping experience can be experienced on people's mobile phones, but it still has a very 3D and volumetric presentation in this on this just through a website. So you literally go to afropoa.com/XR, and you're already kind of immersed into our brand.
Sio katana wa mtani ni katana wa mta. Kijana umezima nitakuwashia taa. Dada yangu safi baby uwezi kata. Hapa bila breaks utabaki tukicha. I don't have nothing to prove, no, no. I don't have nothing to prove, no.
Warm greetings to all from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm Sunay Stassen from Open Design Africa, and we are super proud to be a partner of Nairobi Design Week. I would like to use this opportunity to, and also on behalf of our team, to congratulate your team for putting together a stunning lineup for this year's festival. And also want to wish you every success for the next chapter of Nairobi Design Week. We are super excited. Warm greetings from beautiful Cape Town, South Africa. I am Sunay Stassen, a designer, educator, impact entrepreneur, and the founder and CEO of Open Design Africa. I always look at our man-made world through a design lens, with the human race at the helm as the chief designer. For generations, we have successfully engineered a destructive and unjust world for living in. At Open Design Africa, we believe that collaborative creative intelligence is a superpower. We also believe that every child and citizen should have the right to develop it. This will enable and empower everyone to confidently contribute to the future making of a world we can all feel proud to live, work, and play in.
Open Design Africa calls on
all Africans
and people from around the world
to action small seeds of change.
Everywhere!
Because collectively, the impact will be massive!
Today, we have the most important design brief to write in the history of mankind to secure a thriving future for humanity and the planet. Our African humanist philosophy of Ubuntu beautifully defines that I am, you are, because of who we all are. Let's design our futures together.
I try to connect different aspects like feel, interpret, express.
As a dancer, motion is a great part and impacts me very much.
I look for different perspectives, so I read, I draw, I eat, you know.
Latrines have really motivated me into dancing so that you be unique by yourself, so you don't move to the beat, but let the beat accompany you as you dance.
Dancing came from my parents, both my mom and my dad. They used to dance in the house. So every time I could listen to music and see them dance, so it just came instantly.
Singing, I got it from my mom. And my dad also says, yeah, you can sing, you have a good voice. So that's where I really get my inspiration.
We had a tendency of going to this church. It's a Catholic church in town. And Holy Family Basilica. We used to go there, go to Uhuru Park, buy ice cream, then go to like a local place and eat chips and sausage and Fanta. And then there's this song by Longombas. Not Longombas, this guy, Anado. Kukuka Pandava Iskele. I don't remember his name. Then Mr. Nice. Then his song was playing and my mom was like, so unapenda kudance? And I'll dance. And I was like, this is my time to shine. I went, I danced, then we were like four, I was like with 4 boys and I was the only girl. So we were dancing, wanatoa mmoja, I'm like, wanatoa mmoja, and then we were 2.
Most was actually inspired by, my childhood memories, personally my childhood memories. And I just recalled when we used to go out for PE, my class teacher, will make us, have a circle and we'll play this game called Balance the Ball and Brikicho and all that.
So I was like, the move was like this. So I was just like, let me just die with this move until I win this competition. I was like, okay, now. And then the winner was being given, I think, a beer so that you can give to your parents. So they were like, the more the merrier. Until I won, I don't know how.
So I wanted to, to bring it into reality. So I had to, make the beat by myself, write down, the whole lyrics. And I had to let a friend of mine called Ivy Dawn to sing on it because she had very dope vocals, to bring the project into reality. One of the best records that I've picked, it's Daudi Kabaka's record. It's called Helule Helule. This is actually one of the projects that made Daudi Kabaka to be the first Black African artist in the whole world to ever top the European chart. So it's a big deal,
Whoa, every time I want to quit or I want to stop doing this shit, this thing, because I love it, but at times, the hiccups and the challenges. I just remember that time, and that time I didn't know that this could ever give me money, could ever be my source of living, could ever be my way of life, the way I eat, the way I sleep, the way I breathe.
So I had a podcast with the Nairobi Design Week, and I was telling Adrian that I write my music in English, yes, and I perform my music in English, yes, but with an African mindset. They say fire with fire, water with water, whatever those people say, So, but I'm trying, to teach people and educate them of our African culture using, the most spoken, language.
Nothing is impossible if you put your mind into it.
About documenting the process, I think I've learned more from seeing what other people do when they're documenting their process. And then when I document my own process, I hope that other people will learn from what I'm doing or see my tactic or whatever I'm doing, and they can be able to achieve whatever effect they want to achieve by learning from my processes.
Yeah, that's done by my boy Jesse Itamere, one of the most talented graphic designers in Nairobi for me. We really worked on that album artwork. If I could show you the different drafts and edits we have from the beginning to the end process, it was really a journey.
I always wanted to be an elite soldier, like the SEAL Team 6. I like to be very critical and I'm very passionate in everything I do. I like to be excellent and no error. And I found that characteristic in the SEAL teams. So that is my main subject matter, but I applied their principles and life lessons in my life. We live in a world that is very spiritual, and the things that we see in our world are not as they seem. That's why we have so many unsolved problems, so many social issues in every section of society that there is. And it's usually such as just that people are not aware of who they are, what their destiny is, and what is their eternal fate. So when I'm painting this, it's like painting now humanity, how they are in this chaotic world, and they have a specific mission, and it's kind of your duty to find out what it is. It's actually the process, and yeah, and once you're done, that is when you actually the veil is pulled off and you know who you are.
Before posting your work, usually is this good enough? Will people like what I'm doing? Will people relate with what I'm doing? So people don't know that everyone goes through that.
It's always on my desk because it's a reminder that you can achieve anything that you put your mind into. Because I was able to build this in a weekend without never having any background in computer science.
humans seek validation. So that's always what stops us. Like for me, before I came here, I was always like, when I put this one out, what will people say? What will people think of me? How does it sound? How does it really sound?
The fact that now I've narrowed it down to the philosophy of what it is, but because when I was starting out, it was just a fascination of the things that visually appeal to me, and that is what I wanted to express to the world. And I realized it's not just a subject matter, it's not just some beauty or project I'm working on, it's attached to my soul, to my spirit, to my mentality.
Okay, I'm gonna put my work on two sides, on two divisions. I usually do branding, so mostly like logos and the brand collaterals. So I love doing that because I love some people come to me and I'm able to solve design problems.
And from those people who have interacted with me, I believe they can see I work differently, I think differently, I function differently. Yeah. And that's why I like to, exchange energy, go to such places.
With my illustrations and my art, I'm able to tell the world like who I really am without having to listen to, do this, do that, be an artist. Because I thought like maybe I wouldn't be as good as the other artists, as my friend, because I've seen my friend grow and I've also seen people who are already established. And I was so scared that, maybe if I start art, at the beginning, maybe I won't be that good. So there was that fear of like showing the world the vulnerable me, the person.
According to the critique I got from exposing my art like to the worldwide audience was locally, because I have to start from where I am to spread out to the world, I had to have an artwork that is kind of relatable to my environment, something that is at home, something that if I stepped out internationally, I would represent my nationality. So I picked a subject matter that is both unique to me, to my tools and what I believe in. The skies are very different. The main thing is usually now the skies and experimenting color schemes, different color schemes. I don't do color schemes. That's why my work progressively increases in value.
There was one where I revised, it was so frustrating. Yeah, but also the one thing that I've learned, the revisions are the biggest challenges for designers, but above all else, we have to listen to the clients, we have to understand them, and so I feel like that's a very important part of design, because at the end of the day, you want to solve the problem of your client, and if that's not solved, then you have not done your work. Yeah.
The rooftop is my shrine. It's kind of like my shrine. That's where I practice all the time. So whenever I'm at the roof, is normally when I start choreographing stuff, it's something that comes randomly. I don't plan anything, just random stuff that happens to me that I create. Yeah.
My man impregnable, growth gradual, so practical. Actually, money coming through annually. Funny how the first syllable of dictionary is you. Yeah, you preliminary. The main event, set presidents. I only like counting dead presidents. I only like counting dead presidents. Can't lose everything around me,
Step by step, day by day, growing stronger along the way. Blue Band gives them the energy.
Nairobi Design Week has impacted me greatly, especially since I first met Yetu and Adrian. Till now, because actually to the last project I did last year before COVID-19 struck the country. And I lived with it and by it, and the principles I learned in the event.
We've had the opportunity to work with some of these creatives in several different projects before.
And last year we came together right here to make the labeled Human song and music video.
The murals that you see behind us were made by these amazing creatives too.
I call my name Nina Chase easy answers. And will I take the name I was say wanataja. Waki call the name of this guy baking stanzas. Something they do freely cause labels are free, but labels ain't deep enough to be who you be. So ataka waitika majina wanaita. You don't need the label to be, we're all human. Fighter, gin, genetic, deep, renegade, never been afraid. Dragonfire my breath, melt away the fears, dies away the fear, for rises up the spear. A symbol for hope, don't despair, rise your head up high to the skyward gaze and follow in the light of a star as I shine this path, labeled human.
At the end of the day, we'll just label human, learn from our mistakes.
Blind photography is a concept that must be embraced, or we should endeavor to embrace if we are really to promote, inclusion for persons with disabilities. For blind persons, mean that even those things that we are unable to do independently, because inclusivity is not just about learning in a class alongside sighted students, or going to the supermarket, or just accessing a phone. No, inclusivity goes beyond that. It also includes those things that we are presently unable to do independently. If we show interest to do those things, like engaging in photography, then we will be able to give people a reason of promoting accessibility even in those fields.
Through Alejandra, Ryan got to know about Nairobi Design Week, and we got to feature him in this year's exhibition under the inclusive theme, Design is for Everyone.
Yes, I did take part in the design festival. For me, it is a wonderful initiative because it gives opportunities for people to interact.
The schedule for the entire festival can be found at nairobidesignweek.com.
With live streams every day at 6 p.m. East African time on our YouTube, Instagram and Facebook. Being part of Nairobi Design Week has really opened my mind as a creative in seeing different ways in which we can solve problems creatively and make the world a better place to live in.
It has been awesome, my friend. Like, these guys are families. I call them, whenever I have a project, and I tell them, hey, what's up? I have this beat or this project that I want you guys to listen. Can you give me a feedback or, anything? And the guys have been actually good, from Naitemu to Adrian to Jesse,
So when we first started, we went round asking people what should a Nairobi Design Week be. We didn't know. I was a designer and not a festival director, so I'd never done this either. So it was about learning and listening to people and finding out what their needs are. And we realized after the first festival that really a Design Week for Nairobi shouldn't be like some of the other ones around the world that are only an annual thing. We really wanted Nairobi Design Week to be a community and a platform. So that's what we really put our efforts into, to ensure that the community has somewhere to go throughout the year, to find opportunities, to discover new talent, and to connect with each other.
It's community over competition, like working together, sharing our ideas, rather than, me just being there,
So since we've started, we've learned a lot of things. In the first year, we learned that we should only have one theme. We had about 5 themes in the first year, and that was way too many, and we couldn't do justice to any of them. From the second year and the third and so on, we've had one single theme that everyone focuses around. And every year that theme has become stronger for us. It allows different people to participate, and it allows us to discover different forms of design.
Nairobi Design Week is actually very fundamental to the growth of the industry, design industry here in Kenya. So Nairobi Design Week has been going for the past few years. I think I've attended the past 2, and it's a great place where we get to network, see and hear other people's ideas.
And amazing people, and then from everything or from anyone I meet, I absorb a little bit of something from everyone. So how I believe that it impacts my art in a way that I get to pick up small things from everyone I meet. And
I feel like you're always on the lookout for new and emerging artists, which sort of helped me personally when I was starting out.
The connection has been good. These people are like family. Let me just say that. They're like family. And they are actually helping me to make my dreams come into reality. And in the same way, we are just Yeah, that thing.
So through certain conversations we have with other groups such as Design Kenya Society and Paddy, we all have these conversations that really open up our minds. We had the African Crossroads event last year, which was about Pan-Africanism. This brought together people from all over Africa and the world, and I got to learn about, for example, the history of African sounds. I got to meet so many interesting people and network, and through this grow as a creative also.
And I remember going for Nairobi Design Week 2018 and recording, not thinking that Adrian would approach me having liked the video. And that whole experience after we started talking and I started working with Nairobi Design Week changed so much of how I viewed the whole scene of design, art, music, and interacting with all the artists in this space.
We learn a lot from different creatives, photographers, filmmakers, designers. So bringing these creatives together and telling their stories is the most inspiring thing.
If we come together, we do more. Na tujenge taifa letu. So when we come together, great things happen.
And we always engage in a lot of community programs.
So taking action in relation to togetherness for myself has meant making sure that the people around me all get into a space of taking action.
For the longest time, and maybe even low-key now, I never felt what I was doing would be something that affects people or is substantial. But then how it inspires creativity in other people, how people feel some sense of belonging even in this like surreal world that I've created with my illustrations.
Yes, of course. They tell me my music is work. I'm trying to be a white person.
It's simple. Just know what you want, when you want to do it, and how you want to get it. I come from Kibera. I got a straight airplane. I'm a medicine student, but ain't making cash out of medicine. You see, I moved out of Kibera. Like, right now, I live at least in a better place.
Everything about us is just a beat, like our heart. Boom, 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 boom. When we breathe, it's a rhythm.
We also asked the creatives to come with a random object.
And those random objects were random.
Very random.
It was good to learn to be a part of your lives.
Thank you.
I brought this pen. I think this is a kawaida pen we do find on the street being sold by this man. We use this to calligraph in school, so I thought this was the beginning of you being an artist. So I still have it, I still buy them. I use them to write down my notes, sketch, and do everything.
I had to contemplate between my gloss and my shades, which I have every time. But I had to pick this because this is something I don't think I can survive without. It's just me. It brings life to my gloss, you know?
The reason why I came with the robot is because I had always been interested in tech and I always wanted to make something like this. So one weekend I had quite a bit of time and I decided to just jump in. So I went to YouTube, I learned about these things called Arduinos, and I got the supplies in town and I just sat down for one weekend and I built this. It's so personal to me because I have no background in computer science.
It's an earring I made for an event that just was cancelled just before COVID happened in Kenya. So better days are coming, I guess.
My mom bought it for me when I was 9 years old, so I've had it for 14 years. And even through the weight fluctuations, it fits, the leather is still intact. It's still stylish to this day, even though it was bought in 2007.
Such a simple and accessible thing that almost anyone can get into.
Like stones and stuff, collecting different stones from different places. This one particularly is like important to me because I was I bought it from a friend who makes jewelry. So at first it was a pendant, but it's also like a spiritual stone. This is a turquoise stone. And yeah, I really love it because it expresses a lot about using your throat chakra and just speaking your mind and being present.
It's, I don't know, this is actually a SIM card shell. When I'm running my errands, when I'm walking around, I always walk around picking rectilinear objects, and I run it off to this. So these are very small, I call it, this is like my brush. I don't use brushes at all. I use palette knives recently as my professional tool, but this is what I started with. And this is very unique because they allow me to add very minute details.
This is like an inspiration to me when I want to do contemporary, either ballet, but when I want to do Africa, I just go barefoot. So this is my random object. It's like a baby to me. It helps me create, yeah, my ballet shoes.
Initially, when I got this watch, it was a purchase that I made, and I thought that it was a unisex watch until it arrived, and it was bigger than my wrist and it was heavier, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is a man's watch. And I've just bought a man's watch, so I don't know what to do. And I think about that every day. So I have a man's watch on my wrist.
This is special to me. Got it from someone who's very close to me. It was very dear to me. Yes. Apart from that, I have my camera. I love my camera, my trusty camera. Always walk around with it. It's a Canon, you know. Shout out to the Canon people. But I find myself not being able to leave the house with my camera. Like I could be well dressed and ready, but I'm like, okay, something's missing. It's definitely my camera.
This band has not get out of my hands since 2017. Actually 2016, yeah. It has been here since 2016.
I think for me, this is an interesting thing. I have really big lips. One thing I do not leave the house with is lip balm, right? And I found this really cute that my friend got me a macaroon. Well, it's a macaroon shaped lip balm, right? And it has the word, "You look great today." So it's a nice way to like affirm yourself every day when you look at it. And also because I feel like, to me, I can look at this and be inspired or affirmed.
I started my career with Black Panther. As an architect, I was given the chance to design a theater in Donholm called Motion Cinemas. And Black Panther was the first movie I watched with the owner of the cinemas, and that started my career. And from there on, I always admired Black Panther for what he stood for, that he was African, but he was very advanced in his technology, in his architecture, the fashion, the culture, and he embraced it. So that's what I feel as a Kenyan, that I want to implement what I know as African and Kenyan design and bring it forth to the world.
So she actually works for White Bull. She's a product designer. So it looks like this because I use it a lot, like imeshikashikwa sana, but that's the value of the object, like how much I've used it. So yeah, it has a couple of cards that I can't go without, like my ID, you know, sometimes some coins or whatever, but like this is the one thing you will never find me without.
This particular ring, I chose to bring it today because I felt it marked the start of me discovering myself. I got this ring when I went for exchange to Egypt. I think going there, I was very young. I think it was around 3 years ago. Going there, I didn't really know what to expect. I went there knowing I'm traveling, I'm going to meet new people, hopefully get a new perspective into how people relate with each other and whatnot. I went there and I found myself alone, which really made me turn the focus more towards me rather than with other people. And I bought this ring knowing I would remember that particular time of my life.
Mostly my instrumentals. I usually walk around with earphones and headphones, and I usually tell Adrian and Naitemo, the only thing that I can steal from a person is earphones. Only that.
I brought a Rubik's Cube, just so random. During the COVID time when I was at home, out of work, I didn't know what to do. I was a bit confused and I was traumatized about the future and what am I going to do next. And so one evening, my brother brought the Rubik's Cube and I just took it once. I didn't overthink it. I was just like, interesting. I started messing around with it. I was able to, solve the first 2 layers. And it was quite interesting because now I can solve it. And every single time I'm faced with a challenge, I usually remember my experience trying to solve this cube.
I was really into fashion because fashion really tells a lot about your identity. And on the path of being a creative and an artist, it's allowed me to have, it's like a way of appreciating my fan base. Because sometimes art is not really that affordable, especially if you are increasing in value. So it's something that people can actually collect.
My content is for everyone. In that I feature children, adults, women, men, all that. So long as there is a story to tell, then there's no need to limit that story to a group. This is my brand, GE, which actually stands for General Exhibit. Yeah? So General Exhibit is about creating content for general exhibition.
Using African materials and local African tailors here in Kenya. I have hoodies, I have masks and t-shirts, and it's just about empowering our people and empowering the creative scene within Kenya.
Hello, Nairobi Design Week. Many happy greetings from Dutch Design Week. I'm Ingrid and I wish you the best from all the colleagues from Dutch Design Week and have a great, happy together Nairobi Design Week. Have lots of inspiration and great events, and I'm gonna give you here is Stripe as where we are located normally. So a lot of things going on and a lot of things going on in Nairobi. So happy to get together with you. Bye bye.
Eat, design, repeat.
We've had so much fun putting this whole thing together. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to all the eDesign repeaters.
Yeah, and if you've enjoyed what you've seen here,
you know what to do.
Like,
subscribe,
comment,
share.
The schedule for the entire festival can be found at nairobidesignweek.com.
With live streams every day at 6 p.m. East African time on our YouTube, Instagram and Facebook.
On Tuesday, we have What Design Can Do, introducing the No Waste Challenge and showing you how you can get involved.
On Wednesday, we have the Bambies, who will be taking us through being queer in the creative industry.
And on Thursday, we have Free Mind Sessions once again this year.
On Friday, we have Under Our Skin, who will be talking about the film festival coming up.
And on Saturday is the big finale, the Eat, Design, Repeat launch party, featuring the Mosmos music video shoot,
Bakita's music, and a live dance performance by Collin, Brianoh, and Ian Tico.
So Free Mind Sessions, obviously we really love it when we collaborate with Nairobi Design Week. This is probably like the third year running with the collaboration, and I really enjoyed the idea of together.
Please check out the creatives who contributed to this. It's definitely our most ambitious production yet.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. What did we do well? What can we do better?
I have a music video with Charles coming out real soon for Nairobi Yetu. We're also trying to shoot a DoingZero music video with Panzigo as well, end of the month. But yeah, apart from that, is straight back into the studio. I have 2 albums already ready to go. So I have an EP with Baraka, Swahili Papi, and also an EP with Traboli. So now it's about finalizing these projects and trying to get them out there to you guys.
And of course, please subscribe to our channel if you like what you see.
It means a lot to us, so let us know if you want to see more. The schedule for the entire festival is at nairobidesignweek.com.
With live streams every day from 6 p.m. Woo.
You know, as a photographer, I've come to appreciate how much tougher a videographer's life is than a photographer's in so many circumstances. Together.
Okay.
The schedule for the entire the schedule for the entire festival is the schedule for the entire I'll do the Tuesday bit.
Okay.
On Tuesday.
And we'll be doing giveaways on our IG this week.
So be sure to check them out and see what you can win. And some people, we've just discovered your work and you've come into the community and showing what you've got. Thank you. Because this will be useful for the trailer as well. So.
Yeah. Virtual festival.
And this... I know.
Yeah.
Now we just get silly. Good.
Wow.
Eat,
design,
repeat
together.
Eat,
design,
repeat
together.
She say you want some alcohol. Yes, of course, 300 horses, blacked out Porsches. All they do is talk, all we do is boss it. This that raw, no stopping, we take it off, cruise control. Glide through the universe like a comet. No guns nowadays, niggas comment. This beat so sick, vomit on the sweater, mom's get that
Feel the frequencies, but I just got to be the one who sees my scenes. Everybody's all about just who's just trying to get the screen. But I just know that in this fine time, when I unwind, I just look into my mind like, yeah. And in time we got the tribe like, you're in flying, but you know I always